members of TiE Hyderabad chapter. First of all, Mahasivratri greetings to all, and thank you to Sandip Patnaik, our dear CM, for taking time today to talk about a very interesting topic. I'm sure we'll have a good number of questions and intriguing answers also coming from Sandeep today. So look forward to it. Let me just introduce Sandeep briefly and then hand it back to him. Sandeep is the managing director and head of the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh uh, coverage for JLL. JLL obviously is a global market leader in the real estate space with significant market share. Sandeep has been the youngest member and managing director among the leadership council of JLL in India. So he's a star who has transacted more than 30 million square feet of office space. And he tells me that his one of the biggest trade of leasing is his 1 million square feet office space for Novartis many years ago. And he's been a angel investor and a 23-year career in real estate and a person who has spent a lot of time now in Hyderabad. And thank you, Sandeep. If you don't mind, I would love to hear a little bit more from your side on how your journey has been and how you kind of ended up as a real estate guru and part of JLL here. Yeah. With that, welcome Sandeep, and I also want to welcome Butt and thank you, Butt, for agreeing to moderate and kind of help navigate the conversation. Thank you, Butt. Over to you, Sandeep.
So once again, I see Sandeep is on the mute.
Got it.
So you could go ahead and then give introduction. Let's
Yeah.
jump right into the conversation.
Thanks, Suresh. I think I always believe that to large extent, success in any career depends on three factors. One is obviously whether you're in the right time in the right place, and then the luck and the hard work. A lot of people do hard work, but might not get a success they want, or the way their career they want to grow. I think as far as my success in JLL or in the real estate in Hyderabad is concerned, I think I give credit to all the three. That is luck, hard work, and right time in the right place. And I still remember in 2004-5 when I decided to join JLL, and then my parents and my relatives in Orissa, if you're not an IS officer, if you're not an engineer, if you're not a chartered accountant, if you're not a doctor, you are good for nothing. So when they said that their son is going to become a broker, I think they had some nervous breakdown and all. And my mom still doesn't know how to pronounce Jones Lang LaSalle, it's a tongue twister. But I think I was in the right time at the right place, in 2005, and I worked very hard, and the journey has been great, and this is a great company to work with. This is my 16th 17 year in JLL, one of the finest companies to work for. And just to tell you just few more lines, that I love doing deals. I think I always believe that whatever you do, if you are until unless you are very passionate about what you do, you might not see that success. And I'm very very passionate about doing deals, meeting people. And but what happens in this competitive world, all the deal makers, whether you're an investment banker or you are a deal maker in real estate or in commodities, until unless you really have a very very solid relationship and you take that relationship in true honesty and don't make that relationship a transactional relationship, I think success is there. So I always believe in one thing, that I should not make my relationship with anyone as a transaction relationship. There are classic cases where I started a relationship, after 7 years that relationship has given me bumper deal. So that's about me, Suresh. Over to you, Bud.
So that's a very quick introduction, and definitely hard work and the timing are the key players. And once again, congratulations on your success. So today the format is going to be around for 10 to 15 minutes. You will have a slide presentation from Sandeep, followed by discussion with me, few questions, and then the last half an hour we would open to you, to the audience. So without further ado, I would like the slides to come up.
Good. Thank you, Bud. So I will, though there are a lot many slides, I'll just take 15 minutes, because it is better that I interact with the audience, and audience ask me the questions and Bert ask me the panel. And I think we are all sick and tired of seeing slides during the COVID period, so I'll just try to make it fast. So over to the next slide, please. So I'm just going to cover 2 to 3 slides on each asset class, and the way I'm going to do this presentation is I'm going to talk about each asset class, whether it is office space, land, warehousing, and data center. One before COVID, during COVID, and post COVID. So let's see the biggest asset class, the office space. 2019, that is the pre-COVID. This was an amazing year for Hyderabad. The highest ever leasing, almost 10 to 10.5 million square feet in a year, Jan to February 2019. And Hyderabad accounted for almost 22% of the total leasing in India for that year, right? And very surprisingly, for the first time, Gachibowli surpassed High Tech City when it not only comes to absorption, also when it comes to the new supply. And we saw almost 9% year on year growth in the key markets. The biggest deal which really came into a limelight across India, the deal was done by JLL. Was a deal where JLL sold the iconic Wave Rock or Tishman Spire, 2.4 million square feet to a fund by Allianz and Sapuji for 1800 crore. This is one of the largest deal ever in the history of India that happened in 2019. And then we, with that momentum, we believed that 2020 will be a rocking year, and we thought that we'll do more than 10 million square feet a year leasing in 2020. But we didn't realize that something nasty is going to happen, and COVID happened. And a very interesting slide in the right hand side, Hyderabad was the, if you compare about the total supply or existing stock in Hyderabad vis-a-vis the total leasing which happened in 2019, the percentage, Hyderabad the highest in the world, and this is quite more than any of the cities in China. We can move to the next slide, please. And what happened in 2020, we all know. The first quarter was good enough, and we had a 30% share of Hyderabad in the entire India when it comes to the first 3 4 months. And then, as you know, the March end, the lockdown happened, and I think first few months from April, May, June towards July, August, no one knew what was happening. Everything was locked down, and but good thing that in the last quarter, October, November, December, we had some big transactions by big Fortune 500 company, which as a result, the total leasing was almost 6.47 million square feet for 2020 as compared to 10 million in 2019. Not that bad, keeping in mind that it was a COVID year, but there is a sort of the angle to it that there was few clients who took huge space, and but the number of clients taking space came down drastically. And in a scale of 1 to 10, if in 2019 there were, let's suppose, 10 clients who took this space, it came down to 2 or 3 in 2020. But these 2 or 3 clients took huge space, and that's why you see 6.47 million square feet in 2020. Next slide. And what we believe how things are going to be in 2021 and beyond. I think there's a lot of debate happening. How much percentage of the labor will work from home? Believe me, no one knows. If anyone tells you with confidence that they know that 20, 25, 30% of the people are going to work from home, I think they're other they don't know, or they're bullshitting. I think very clear, no one knows. Some people say 10%, 20, 20, 30%. We really don't know. But I'm a firm believer that we all are social animal. While some sort of technical aspects can be handled from work from home, but the way we are designed as human being, we want to meet people, we want to go out for coffees, we want to have their lunch breaks with our colleagues. I feel that if not to the levels of 2019, we can see that after 6 months or after 8 months, you can see a good amount of people working back from office, and that is the hope we have. And as far as office space is concerned, and very surprisingly, the flex operator or the co-working companies are doing really well, because the corporates are not sure what should the capex they should invest in their office, though they are betting hugely on the flexible spaces, co-working spaces, and their growth post COVID has really gone up. Next slide. And please excuse me, I'm going a little fast because I have to complete a lot of asset class and then go on Q&A and a panel session by Bud. Now, in JLL lingo, capital markets is nothing but investments. It is pure investment day. So before COVID, there were a lot of transactions from institutional players like the Allianz, Xander, Ascendas trying to invest in Blackstone, invest in office space, IT park. And from 2015 to 2019, we saw almost 8,500 crore of institutional investment coming in the real estate, in office space as well as in residential. And even high net worth individual is to invest in buying freely. I think there's some disturbance in mute. Yes, thank you. So even the high network individual is to invest in office space with client, without client, and that was the sort of a craze for investing in office space from 2015 to 2019. And retail much also was a okay. But how things changed is the next slide, in the way the COVID happened, and what we see. The next slide, please. There was shift in strategy from investing, right from institutional investor to HNI investing in office space in COVID. Between March and December 2020, the investor started investing in residential. There is a huge jump in residential prices, in the yield, in the interest, and that was something surprisingly. In fact, I keep saying that Hyderabad is the only city where, except office space and a little bit retail, all other asset class have grown post March 2020, which is quite surprising. And maximum growth we have seen in residential. So the high network individual got scared of whether the corporates will come or not, whether they lease. So they changed their investment strategy pre-COVID from an office space to investing in residential, whether it is bulk sales, whether it is buying in pre-launch. And also a new investment thesis came. Few of the companies like Strata and PropShare, right, they floated the investment management companies where they take money from the HNIs, and then they invest in smaller office space with the yield, and then rent it back. I think this is a new concept which has come, which is good for the economy and good for the small retail investors. Right, next slide. And what we look at the capital market or investments for the next 2 to 3 years, I think what we see is that the rentals is going to be a little stable, because in the office space, because people really don't know how much will the office take up. So there will be a little bit of sort of a subdued investment in office space for next 2 to 3 years. But for the residential across India and Hyderabad, I think that investment is going to go up. The investment in land transaction in few of the locations is going to go up. And the worst sector for this impacting because of the COVID will be the malls and multiplex and anything to do with retail. I think that is badly hit, and it is going to be literally subdued for next 2 to 3 years. And but warehousing as an asset class is really taken people by surprise in India. It's just a 4 to 5 year phenomena in India when it comes to a very, very organized warehouse. I'm going to talk about warehouse in my future slides. Next. Now, this is, I think, the favorite topic or investment for any Telugu or anyone from the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. I think everyone wants to invest in land, and I think without land, I think this presentation will not be successful. I again repeat, this is the only city where the land prices has gone up post COVID. Very, very surprising that, generally when you see real estate in any city, whether it is Gurgaon, whether it is Bangalore, Chennai, Noida, the main push comes from the office leasing, the employment generation, and then the other asset class goes up, whether it is residential land. In spite of COVID, in spite of the office space being severely beaten, the land transaction went up surprisingly. And in fact, in the outskirts, the land prices have gone up by 40 to 60% in last 8 to 9 months. And this is really, really something which has not happened across anywhere in India. And what I understand is that a lot of investors from Andhra, who are not only in Andhra but in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, are heavily investing in the land banking and in the speculative land buy. And I am going to spend further on the further slides and all. Next slide. And I think the way metro was a game changer for Delhi, and metro as a game changer in Hyderabad, we couldn't see it because few years of operation and the COVID happened. But I think this regional ring road is going to really be a game changer for Hyderabad in a big way. And what is the concept of regional ring road? As you know, it connects different states, different districts of Telangana to Hyderabad. The travel time goes down, and as a result, there will be a very, very sustainable development in all the directions. As you know, the mostly development happens in western quadrant, and not in other directions, but I feel this regional network will really going to help. And there are few of the places which I will tell you which will get positively impacted because of this regional ring road. Next slide. These are the main plotting corridors which people know: north and east Warangal highway, in south the Pharma corridor in Hyderabad, and in the Sankarpalli and Mumbai. And next slide, please. And if you ask JLL as to what is our or my what do you say, inputs as to what should be the most, if someone has, let's suppose, from 50 lakhs rupees to 10 crore to invest, we will bet, or I will bet, the first investment hotspot is towards the Mumbai highway corridor, Shankarpalli, or to be more precise, in the Sangareddy belt, that is from Waxon College towards the Zahirabad. There the prices are still reasonable. That is our first bet, and as it is a part of the Western corridor, and the prices are still reasonable. I think in from Waxon College to Zahirabad, you still get land from 40 lakhs to 1.5 to 2 cr. I think that is our first preference. Is that Sadasipet, Sangareddy, and Zahirabad location. Next slide, please. The second sort of our recommendation will be, very surprisingly, a lot of people will say south, but no. We are trying to say, if someone wants to say we are going to invest this amount of money at a lower value, lower land value, and potential to grow a decent value in next 2 to 3 years, we'll say this is something after Pocharam and after the outer ring road, and I feel that area will have an area called Ushapur, 2-3 kilometers from Pocharam. The land rates are 2 crore, and I think it is just 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer from Pocharam. I think this is the location you should invest, because the reason being, there are a lot of value housing being coming up in Pocharam in a price bracket of 4,000 rupees, 3,800 rupees, and once that's come on, the value of these locations will go up. The third, next slide, please. And the third, I think a lot of people would have said, let why not the south belt towards the airport should be second. But I think the way I look at it is that it's already a little bit of heated area, and it has been overexposed in last 5 to 7 years, and that's why we have placed it third. And because the entry barrier is little higher, but it has come into news because of the Welspun investing a big unit there. Now the government giving land to Amazon for data centers, and I think these are the few factors. And then this Chandan Valley area where Amazon has got land from the government, where currently the land rates are at around 1.2 crore, will go up. And obviously Shad Nagar has been there, but the problem with Shad Nagar and the area like Sri Salem Road and Nagarjuna Sagar Road, it has been a little bit stagnant. Nothing much is happening, and we have been hearing this corridors from ages, but nothing much is happening. Next slide. We move to industrial and warehousing. Very interesting, one of my favorite subject. You will be surprised to know that in US and mature market in Europe, this is a huge asset class. It's a huge asset class. In India, thanks to the Make in India push, this market has become little institutional only in last 4 to 5 years. Otherwise, we used to do warehousing by traditional godowns, the way we used to see in the Kompally and Mitchell belt. But this has gone some drastic change in last 4 to 5 years, and I think people who are looking can look at this asset class. The biggest problem in Hyderabad is, if any client wants 2 to 3 lakh square feet of quality grade A warehousing, you will not get more than one or two options, because 95% of the option are grade B, grade C supply, which has been built 9-10 years back, which does not cater to the compliance requirements of the big e-commerce companies and FMCG companies. So this is a very good. The construction cost is around 1,000 to 1,200 rupees, and rentals is somewhere around 15 to 20 rupees. A good returns. In a long term perspective, this is something in asset class investors from TiE can look at, provided you get land at a very cost. I personally believe that any land which is more than 2 crore will not make sense for warehousing. Next slide. As I told you, the demand supply, there is a huge mismatch, and a lot of now the pan India institutional players like All Cargo have started coming in, making quality warehousing, and just to give an example, Indospace, which is India's largest institutional warehousing. We did a transaction in 2017 for $1 billion, where we helped them to sell their portfolio to Canadian pension fund, and this is how the huge scope for warehousing in India and in Hyderabad. Unfortunately, we don't have quality supply in Hyderabad. Next slide. Just so 3PL, while people think that it is the Amazons and the e-commerce who take the maximum warehousing, no, it's only 24% in Hyderabad. Maximum is the 3PL logistics like Mahindra Logistics, who make the warehousing do much more than real estate. They help in the transport, they help in managing cost stacking. They have taken the maximum warehousing space in Hyderabad. Next slide. So these are the few transaction. We can just go to the next slide. Data center, right? And as warehousing, what warehousing was 5 years back when it came to limelight, now data center is coming into huge limelight. The data center is known not in terms of square feeters, but what is the megapod, what is the energy utilization. And in entire India, we have just have a 447 megawatt of IT load live through the data center. And this is how a data center is defined. And in Hyderabad, any data center business first goes to Bombay and Chennai because of the proximity to the ocean, undersea cabling, data cabling, and though off late, Amazon has made a new huge noise with the government allotment in Hyderabad, and few of the big companies like Adani are trying to make in data centers place here. And our homegrown control is our ex-president Sridhar. His company is obviously a big company based out of Hyderabad. Next slide. Yeah, this is just, you can see Mumbai takes the 199 megawatt, that is the capacity of warehousing Mumbai has, as compared to Hyderabad, the 30 megawatt. And Chennai is 60 megawatt. I think we have to catch up. And but obviously, we are not near to the ocean or sea, so that disadvantage we have. Next. Next. And where in Hyderabad, these are the few data centers you have. We have data centers for controllers, Reliance, Sifi, ICICI, and Amazon has got started the construction in Chandan Valley. And these are the few, but lot many multinational company. In fact, we are doing few large multinational companies. We are currently in RFP and non-disclosure, so we're not able to name. But yes, and then few of the multinational companies which are already scouting is STT in a big way. Next. So sorry that I had to go so fast, otherwise Bhatt and Suresh would have really killed me, and they had given me some time. So over to you, Bhatt. Please take it over.
Sandeep, fantastic presentation. Very comprehensive. Thank you. A lot of insights. I hope you're okay to share the presentation to our community, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, sure. So we will share it. And the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, I would be focusing on today being festival day, the infinite power inside you, the soul that made you, and the body. And then we go to the place and the city, then we go to the outer space. So that is how I'm going to line up my 5 to 10 minutes. So let's talk about what gives you that power, that North Star. And what is your purpose? I mean, you have been in the materialistic world of real estate, then what drives you really as a person?
Yeah, so it's a very right question. I sometimes I tell my CEO or my wife that I don't know whether I'm right industry, because in real estate, in broking, money is the biggest motivator. If you ask any real estate investment banker or broker, the biggest motivator is money. And I'm not lying. And people who know me, money has never interested me. And it might look like that I'm trying to play to the gallery, but that's the fact. Money has never motivated me. What really motivates me is can I do a deal which adds value to the company, whether I'm able to win the trust. I'm a huge relationship guy, as I told you, and I can wait for 10 years for doing a deal or getting a business. And I think I always believe that if I do something comes back to me. And that energy of trying to be honest to my relationship. And I always believe this is something I always believe, that make your clients your friends, not friends your client. I think that is something which I always believe, and that has happened. And my conscience, I have a sound sleep because my conscience is very clear, and I think as long as I can sleep properly without any tension, and as long as you don't do anything wrong, because in real estate the money power, the money is so huge that it takes fraction of second to lose your sense or lose your what do you say, inner conscience or bias. I think I'm one thing I can be proud of. I don't know what growth I have seen in my career, but I can be proud of that in my entire career. I lived a life of very following the principles of honesty. I think that is something which drives me. But
Excellent, Sandip. And thank you for letting us speak into your mind. And let's talk about the real estate of you, the real estate of Sandip. And that is 96 kgs 2 years ago. 24 months, you shed 24 kilos. How could you do this? Short
so
and
okay.
sweet.
So I had no other way out. I think I set one. I think it is close to 30 months now. I was 96 kilos and I was not able to climb even a single floor. I was on eight medicine, two blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol. You name. I was having those issue, and this issue was there from last 10 years. But I was under impression that you have your medicines done and you don't have to do anything, right? You can eat whatever you want, and I was to not exercise. And one of the reason was also because of sort of just believing that life is all about work. And I was a workaholic till 2018 mid or 18 end. I used to work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, no vacations. And you'll surprised to know that in my entire career I have just been to Singapore on for taking family. I've not been to any country, not because that I don't want to spend money, because I never thought vacation is important, but I think I have changed. I was very clear that if I don't take care of my health, something big going nasty is going to happen to me because of all this disease. So I
So
said,
how did you do that? What is that one thing that made you shed the weight? Trim your real estate. So
yes. So I think I believe that 80% of your weight and health is all about what you eat, and it's only 20% is about exercising or running. So while I became a runner, I used to run 5 days a week. Started slowly running for 50 meter, 100 meter, and then I completed half marathon also, and I was really. But I think my success, because I was a big foodie, my big success is on control on of food. I completely stopped sugars, completely stopped carbohydrate, not eating outside, no junk food. And I was very focused, very disciplined. Whatever you do, if you are disciplined, you have a success. If you are not disciplined in whatever you do, it's not success. I think it's now 3 years journey. I'm very disciplined in what I eat and very disciplined in my workouts. I think I did it, to be very honest, I did it for my family. As simple
very
as.
good, very good. I mean, look at the inspiration that you have, the self drive that you have, and your ability to shed the 24 kilos, your ability to run 7 to 13 kilometers every day in and out. That shows the determination and the kind of 16 years of excellence you have put in real estate after hopping from hospitality industry to recruitment industry. And then the way you have settled very well. You took the opportunity with both hands, and then you have taken the real estate of Hyderabad to the next level. And I think you have seen different governments change the hands from 2005 to today. We have a great government, stable government. Opportunities are plenty. Hyderabad is a growing city in terms of real estate. Are all opportunities that Hyderabad has, and the real estate speaks for it. So let's talk about more real estate of Hyderabad and surroundings. If if our CM would like to take an office space, you see the situation right now is either you shrink your office space or shift your office space. That's how the people are now. So, what do you advise? Where do you think? Do you advise them to rent office space? I know it's against your principle, maybe. I mean, against your business, maybe. I mean, you may have to do the honest
I,
answer
I,
here.
I will
What
I
do you
will
advise?
I will say it depends on the nature of business, but there are a lot many companies which are positively impacted by COVID, whether it is e-commerce, whether it is chips company, healthcare company, they are growing. But if your business is, or in the industry you are, and it is severely impacted, I'll say go slow on that. Right, it's better to take few seats in the flexi operators or co-working companies, figure out how the world is changing in next 6 months to 1 year, and then think of investing in capex. So be very cautious in investing in capex for next 6 months to 1 year, and then go very slow. And it's better you have a very modest approach and go in a co-working way, rather than taking a full-fledged office. I know a lot of my friends in this developer community and industry. If they are watching, they will kill me for this, but this is something I will honestly recommend people.
Okay, very good. I'm sure there are entrepreneurs here may be willing to buy and make deals in the commercial space. And I know you have turned the page in your life by getting Novartis, negotiating with Novartis for that 1 million square feet on that in Orbit Road. So share one or two lines about how did you make that deal happen with Novartis? That's the turning page in your life. So
Yeah, so I think I was quite young. It's almost 10 years back, and every person needs a big break. As if I have to tell you that Amitabh Bachchan was not been Amitabh Bachchan if he would have not got a by mistake a break in Janjeer, right? It was written for some other actor. I give a lot of credit. In fact, I met the then real estate head of Novartis just few weeks back, and I met him after ages, after almost 10, 12 years, and I thanked him that whatever I am in career, the credit also goes to that big push. I think I was very young and I was very hungry, and in fact, this deal was shown by some other broker, and I just entered, and I just got the number of this real estate head based out of Switzerland, Basel. I said, I know you have closed the deal, or you have already appointed an consultant. Hear me out. Give me 5 minutes, and I'll not ask for 6 minutes. You hear me out. And that point of time, unfortunately, we didn't have Zooms of the world, so it was only a phone call. And I said, I'm very confident. Hear me out 5 minutes, and at the end of 6 minutes, you tell me you want to continue with your old consultant or you want to appoint me. And I was very true as to what is right and what is wrong. And I think I did not act like a broker who was trying to act smart. I was very right, very conservative in my approach. And what he really liked is my honesty. And the other broker on the other side really shown a tall, really castle in the air. And I told him that it is not required, and you really didn't know don't need that amount of space, and you really don't need that amount of rentals to be paid and all. You need to go conservative. So I think he liked that approach, and at the end of 6 minutes he said the deal is yours. And what is surprisingly is that night the call from Switzerland, Basel, went to all the developers saying that we have appointed overnight a new broker for you, that the old broker is out and the new broker is in. I think more than passion, you have to very honest and truthful in what you are saying. The conviction needs to be there. And I was very when I was talking to that person, 5 minutes slot, and you nowadays you get Shark Tank talking for 5 minutes for a startup. I had only 5 minutes over phone call, and I could convince him. Yeah, I think I was very young that point. Lot of fire, right? I don't think I would have convinced. Now I'm an old man now.
great story. And also, just to let the audience know, he has a successful investment as an angel investor in Nestaway. So he's also an angel investor. And I think business runs in your thought process and in your actions, in your communication, and then relationship management with the clients. And one question before we open up for the audience to ask questions is, if you were to invest yourself in a plot of land for residential personal investments, what is the golden spot? What is tomorrow's coca pet or tomorrow's whatever you call it? Can you give?
One thing, doctors never take care of their health. If you ask a doctor what is going on inside the body, they will not able to say. They will tell about. So we advisors will tell you what you need to do, but we are very bad at what we need to do. On that note, if you ask me if I have to invest in residential, I always take a 5 to 8 year horizon. I don't look at flipping the asset in 2 to 3 years, because that is all luck. That is all ifs and buts and stuff like that. So I personally, I'll not invest in any location which is more than 1 cr per acre, or I say 50 to 80 lakhs per acre. And that is the threshold, because I believe that is the generally the capacity of retail investor, and there is a multiple to what it can go once the threshold is done. That is my first basic formula.
And how far do you need to go to find such land from
I think
the?
I think you will get land which is that 60 to 80 lakhs range. If, for example, just to tell you that where Amazon has been allotted land in Chandan Valley, that is the land where the Wellspun is 60 to 80 lakhs. It will go up because of this investment. But I think anywhere between 40 to 50 kilometer from Gachibowli, you will get that land parcels, and you need to have a long term perspective on. But very important, you really need to know what are the government initiatives in and and around that locations, right? What are the things which is happening, right, in and around that, 10-kilometer radius, 5-kilometer radius.
So give us a locality name, because you are the expert. And people
I I
bet
I
what
I,
you say.
yeah, I will bet between anywhere between the Vauxhall College to Zairabad. There is a reasons for it. I feel first of all it is priced okay. If you go a little inside, you will get into 40 to 60 lakhs also. If you see the proximity, the potential was something which was no one was talking about 4 5 years back. Now potential is a hot thing because all the industries are out. Huge residential development going to happen by Aparna, by PBL, Incor, and stuff like that. And it is close to the western corridor. What we have seen is that the how close or what is the direction from the western corridor is really defining the success. And I feel that is low priced, and in a lot of what do you say, the mid segment housing is happening there. I think that is this segment where I feel that that area will go. I'm nothing against the south or east or north, but if I have to bet the money, I'll bet in that corridor.
Very good. And how about greater Hyderabad, regional ring road? And is there any particular location that you would like to talk about? Maybe Sangareddy, Shankarpalli. You just named some of the
See,
names.
though all the areas will get benefited, but I feel the biggest benefit will be right from Sadasipet that towards the Mominpet, and that belt where is Sankarpalli, Vikawara, that belt it is going to get bigger benefited. But again, as you know, real estate in last 2 years is especially land prices in Hyderabad. I don't know what is the logic, what is the rationale. I don't have the answer, but prices really gone up. Right, Mominpet, you talk up 2 years back, it was 40 to 60 lakhs, and people are talking whatever they want to talk. Right, but that is the location where the regional network you know is going to really impact that belt right from Sadasipet coming towards the Mominpet, and that location. But
Very good, very good. One last question before we open up. I know we have covered the inside you, the body you, the place where you live, the region. Then let's go to outer space. Do you think we should invest in moon? And is it a possibility for people to invest for a land on the moon? What do you say?
but I'm not as intelligent or as knowledgeable or as capable as Elon Musk to answer this question. I wish I had so much of knowledge. I could have in a different place, right? Frankly speaking, I really don't know. But the way the Musk is talking about, he's already talking about 10, 15 years, a world in Mars, right? He's trying to go towards that, right?
Okay.
But we need to see, and I think where no one thinks, he thinks, right? And if we have in the world 100 Elon Musk, the world will be very different. And what is good about people like when people talk about Mars and settlement in moon, you really don't think it's possible, or what is the need, right? Possibility is there, but you have to find out what is the need. Are we really going out to fall short of the land areas in the entire world so that we need to go to
Right,
moon and Mars? That is one, the
right.
practicality.
Sure, sure.
Second is the I think what I see more interesting is the what is the mineral reserves that Mars or moon has. Is, I think, for
Right.
me, that will excite me more than anything else.
Definitely, definitely. There are many questions popping up. In fact, to make it more direct, anybody could unmute and then speak also. If you are direct, means to me translating your question to the speaker, feel free to unmute and then come direct. So,
Hi, Mr. Sandip.
Hi.
We had one point. You had told one point saying that the human being is the social animal. Would
Yeah.
like to get back to the old normal. Also, we would not be interested to jump from one group to another group. Rather, we would like to have the same group continue. Right. In that case, no, we would have this co-working space as a transition period, and then go back to the normal office demand. That's what I feel. So because you made the two contradicting statements. One is coming back to the normal based on the social animal instinct, and another is we may not be requiring any kind of that huge space in the near future. You,
No,
you
no.
had to just justify this
I'll
too.
explain that. I'll explain that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
so when I said that a need of co-working is so short term, because people are not sure about the capex spending, and that is the reason why co-working comes in, right? Because you really don't have need to spend capex and the opex on facilities and all. All co-working companies done that. So that was from a contest, is that if what Bert asked, if someone needs to invest, take space, what do you advise? So as I said, if it is a industry which is positively impacted by COVID, go ahead and take space. If it is something where you are not sure, take the co-working company. That's what I meant.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. It's clear. It's clear.
Also, one question that popped up is, if you see that the office space is cooling off, but the residential circle is heating up, is there a correlation if in the long run, if office space doesn't pick up, the residential would crash?
So, as I told you, Hyderabad residential across India, residential is done well during the COVID, but Hyderabad has really, really done well. Good thing, good story for the developers, a good story for the investors. But what I see from an earlier 80% of end customer taking flat to stay, 20% investor, I think that 80-20 has gone to 50-50. I think there are more investors betting, and I think even 50-50 or 60-40 is a fine ratio. My worry will be what happened to Noida, Greater Noida, where the moment it crossed 60-70% investor and 20-30% end customer, and something goes wrong, and then the entire residential collapses. For a for a healthy sort of a residential mix, I feel there should be a healthy mix between end customer and the investors. And to answer your question, even if the commercial real estate is not happening, salaries have been frozen, there is a risk of losing a job. I feel the reason why the residential is really done well, two things. One, because there is the percentage from 20% has, I feel, has gone to 50% as far as Hyderabad is concerned, as far as buying flats are concerned. And somewhere down the line, when people started believing that work from home is a long term solution, which I'm not sure, they started saying that, look, in a two-bedroom house, how do I work in a workplace from home, right? Indian ecosystem, Indian society, the way you look at, the most of the people are in the salary bracket between 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and they really stay in two-bedroom house. And if they stay with a family, how do they work? I think that also sometimes forced people, it might be an impulse decision, might be a sentimental reason, or a long-term reason, that also forced people to start buying on residential. But it's a very good question. No office space happening, salaries either deducted or on hold. You don't know how the future is, but the residential uptake is going up. I think it's a dichotomy, and it is a north pole south pole situation.
Well, the thing is, one question one participant wanted me to ask on his behalf is that there is kind of a bubble happening in that sense, if you want to call it. If this is a bubble, and would there be a correction in the next 18 months? And you have seen from 2005 to the 2008 recession, and then the market picked up upwards. So, will there be a correction if there is?
I feel I'm more worried about the land prices. Obviously, the land prices or the deal at which you do a joint development, joint venture, I'm talking of the builders, determines the end product or the price of the flat. But I'm more worried about the unrealistic pricing of the land. And when the the builders from Bangalore and Pune and all come, they really don't understand what is happening, because the land rates in Bangalore, in Navi Mumbai, in Chennai are much lesser than what is the land rates that happened to the city in last 4 5 years, and that is the basic raw material. And I feel if it further goes up the way it is going maddening, I think it will become really very highly costly for anyone to buy the real estate, and Hyderabad will lose that advantage. I think it is not the nice thing to take that sort of be proudly said that in Hyderabad the residential is selling at 10,000 12,000. That is, overall on a long run, is not the right thing. The reason I'll tell you, Bombay is Bombay because of it is landlocked. It does not have land. Hyderabad is full of land. Wherever you go, you see lands, right? So you have a land all around. You have amazing infrastructure. I always say great infrastructure is good for the end customer, because it's about the kilometers or the time you take to reach from destination A to B, right? Which is an issue in Bombay or Chennai, where the infrastructure not is so you have unlimited FSI, you have huge amount of land all around, and you have got a huge infrastructure. In spite of that, the land prices is going up. In spite of that, the residential is going up. It has to come down, because for the land, the end pricing to go up, you need to be in Hyderabad, need to be bad in any one of these. Hyderabad is extremely good in all the three factors: great infrastructure, huge land parcel, unlimited FSI. So this is not going to go. I think max 18 months to 24 months things should fall in place. It should get more realistic. Might not be a bubble, but I'm really, really worried about the land prices.
Okay. And again, if anybody would like to ask a question directly to Sandeep, you're welcome. I'm just giving an intentional few second pause here.
Sandeep, a quick question. Uh, just as the residential property picked up in Hyderabad, can you compare it with reference to other cities? How did it happen over last 8 months to 18 months?
So in other city, as I told you, the only asset class which has done well in after March lockdown is residential. But in other city, residential in last I'll say 7 to 8 to 10 months, if it has gone up by 5% or let's suppose 6%, I think Hyderabad has gone much more. I think it is at least a two digit, 10 to 12% or 30%, even more than that, right? So that is the growth in Hyderabad residential. Yeah.
In terms of pricing and in terms of also the number of units that were sold?
No, not number of units. So we have done a study. Hyderabad has bounced back the highest in 2020 as compared to 2019. I think if you talk about residential take up, it is almost 65 to 68% of the take up of 2019 what Hyderabad saw. That is the best performance if you have to compare of 2020 versus 2019. So it is not about the number of units being sold. It is about the per ticket square feet transaction, the rate going up.
Sandeep, do you know why that is so true in Hyderabad? What was the driving force behind it? Why
As I
it changed so much in Hyderabad?
I think I answered this question. I think investor the proportion of investors, that is from 20% has gone up to 40 to 50%, trying to block the flats and stuff like that. Which is generally Hyderabad, unlike Noida, Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, and all, it has been a very low on the investor blocking flats. That has been 20%, 25%. I think it has gone up to 50%. I think it is more of an hertz mentality, or we say a cycle. Now let's see how this cycle works out. From 2015 2018, everyone was investing in the office space as if the world is coming to an end. I was surprised that people were investing in buying office space at as low as 5.5% yield, and post giving property tax and tax, you are hardly getting 2.5 3%. I'm not sure why people are buying that, but that is the herd mentality. Everyone wants to own a piece of commercial real estate. So that cycle from 2015 to 2019 was office space, and then when the demand went down because of COVID and uncertain future, immediately the residential as an asset class went up. And also please mind, there's always a correlation between the stock the stock movement, or how the stock industry is doing, share industry is doing vis-a-vis the real estate, because the investors more or less really try to invest in some amount of money in shares, some amount of money in real estate, and they juggle it. And the maximum I see, if you know, in last 6 7 months the stock market really did well. Might be inflated, but I think that also money came to real estate. I think it is very closely knit, real estate investment and the stock investment.
Sandeep, this is Ram Reddy.
I say, oh, you are there. Okay. Did
I
I
just
say
joined.
anything wrong about the developers?
No, no, I didn't actually. I just joined it. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not in town.
No,
So
no.
I'm traveling. I just joined very late, actually. So I
Yeah.
didn't know. I mean, I must have answered well. I don't know, but I just wanted to make sure that there are a lot of huge inventories coming up. You know that. So next 2 years, as a Kadai, representative chairman, I talked a lot of positive about Hyderabad industry. But what is your take on the inventory? What is coming up huge, whether it's residential or commercial? What do you see after 2 years from now?
So I always say that Hyderabad has a double whammy as far as commercial real estate is concerned. One is a first whammy is the demand gone down because of COVID, and that is true for across India.
Yeah,
But no other place in India has that amount of oversupply what Hyderabad has, right? And
yes,
that is a concern. So you have less demand and more supply. I think you cannot ask worse situation to be, right?
yeah,
And I feel that. The few of the developers will have tough time because they were into it, that cycle of building office space, and they are going to really see a tough time. I'll not be surprised if next 2 years the few of the local developers, if they don't have the balance sheet strength, they have to really go down on their rentals, which is really going to hit them. So it is a precarious situation for developers in Hyderabad who have overbuilt and less demand, which is not the scenario in most of the cities in India. As far as residential is concerned, 3 years down the line, we were 3 years ago, Hyderabad was a city where demand was more than supply in residential, but in last 3 years, a lot of launches, a lot of supply, lot of so what I feel is that real estate pan India, but more in this state, it's a more of a herds mentality. And I'm sorry, sir. He's the CREDAI president for the state of Telangana, and he's going to tell what Sandip has gone. But I think
No,
the herds mentality in an asset class is something really bad in this state, right? And built when the cycle was there, just go on building office space, office space, office space. Now it is go on building residential, residential, residential. And I can tell you,
no.
yeah. Sorry,
Sandeep, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. But we see a lot of news about the lot of deals are happening. This company has come, that multinational company, so many millions of square feet has been sold, all those things, lot of news. So how can you say this? I mean, yes, of course, supply is more, but there's a big demand also, no? Many companies are looking at Hyderabad. How can you, yeah.
most of the news which comes in the market is courtesy, selfish brokers like us. So so,
So on that note, we have another 5 minutes or so.
sure, we can
We're
move to
just
the next
taking the
question.
last two. So if anybody has any questions, open up more and more, please.
So, Sandeep, this is Vijay. What is the right percentage of yield at this time for office marketplace to buy it?
So still, developers are
Range.
yes. I'm talking of more of an yield, if it is a leased out facility or not leased out facility. And I think the situations that for developers in office space are really going to become very tough.
No, sir.
It is not the right time to buy, but if you are going to buy, it should not be more than less than around 8.8 to 8.5% yield. Gone are the days of 7.5% for a strata standalone building.
Correct.
Sandeep, just this is Srinivas here. Just a quick question, actually.
Yeah.
Currently, I mean, you have already discussed that the land prices are shooting up in Hyderabad. I mean, for the past 2 years that you have seen. 2 years ago, what was the price and what is it now?
Yes.
And I think most of the landlords or landholders, I think they're taking 3 or 4 years, the next 3 or 4 years profit in this. So, do you see any correction in the prices happening? Probably in the short term or something, because most of the developers do get affected by this.
I don't see. Just to give an example, pre-COVID, Kokapet as a reason, I had people have started asking for 40 to 45 crore, right? I don't see how math works at 40 to 45 crore per acre. The same Kokapet 3 years back, 3.5 years back was 18 crores, right? It has to get corrected. What has happened, I'll tell you, in post-COVID, people started looking at lands which were between 50 lakhs to 4 crores or 5 crores. So the hottest area pre-COVID was Kokapet, Nasingi, Popalguda, Nanagramguda. You talk of Tellapur, you talk of Kollur, Mukila. No one was ready to touch post-COVID. Everyone said, let's take something which is affordable between 40 lakhs to 3 crore. You know what? When everyone starts thinking like that, like a herds mentality, that 40 lakhs immediately over the night in next 3 to 4 months becomes 80 lakhs. That is the problem, right? And for people who are used to this market, they feel 80 lakhs is okay, but they are forgetting that 6 months back it was 40 lakhs. So everyone as a herd mentality started attacking the location which is 40 lakhs to 3 crore, and I fundamentally believe that is that until unless the land prices rationalizes and becomes reasonable, it's not a good story for Hyderabad. I think developers and other people would have a different story to tell, but I'll say it needs to rationalize.
But can I ask question?
Sure, go ahead, Raghu. We have a couple of
Yeah. Hi, Sandeep.
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah. I mean, this, traditionally, the real estate asset class is also driven by, a lot of, black economy and cash economy. Is there any change which is happening in that?
You're asking a very difficult, tricky question when it is recorded.
Yeah, that, of course, yes.
Well, I can understand a chart accountant, a company secretary asking this question. But yes, land transactions across India is cannot be believed without a the cash component. It is there. It will always be there, and and uh, and and uh, and what to do? It is like a very vicious circle. You don't want to take cash. People will say that we don't have full amount in check. You are forced to take cash, and then once you have cash, you have to give cash to buy your next asset class. So it is a very vicious cycle, and that's how the land deal happens. But one good thing is about, at least I can tell you that most of the developers in Telangana and Andhra, especially in Telangana, the Credai and Neretco are very strong. The percentage of black component in buying flats has almost become zero. It might be 2-3%, and that is, I think, all credit goes to very sound leadership and the policy Credai and Neretco and Treda has in Hyderabad. Let's see how it happens, but land transaction without black component is impossible to think.
Good evening, sir. Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Hi, I really enjoyed your session. I'm
Thank you.
Swati here. I'm an urban planner. So I just want to know, as an urban planner, how can we control uh, the unplanned way of going, like the dog race that you're talking about? Like, okay, everyone is doing, I also do. What happens generally is, as an investor, when you see, I would invest, like, let's say 40 kilometers away from the city for a less price, but my infrastructure there will not be developed, and the land use I do not know. So it is like, do one thing wrong and then it leads to everything wrong. So I mean, how can we have a more planned development as well?
I think if you really, Swati, if you see Hyderabad in terms of plan development is much better than most of the cities. There is a long way to go. It's much better than most of the cities, most of the major metro cities. Forget about the Tier B. But I'm really worried about the unlimited FSI. The unlimited FSI is something which is making the land prices crazy, making the expectations of the landlord crazy, and it is having a huge impact on the city infrastructure and the traffic. If it is not controlled, only God knows what happens to the city. And people who don't know, this is the only city where there is no FSI regulation. Yes, it depends on your plot size and the width and setbacks, but unlike Bangalore, where you have 3.2 or 3.4 FSI, in Hyderabad people build 7 to 10 FSI. And when developers or builders comes from other cities, they just fall from their chair hearing that this is the dense construction we are going to happen. So it is going to have that impact on the water, in the city infrastructure, on the roads, on the drainage and stuff like that. I think I'm more worried about that, and I think multiple times this question has been asked to the respective government authorities also. Let's see what happens.
Sandeep, you have touched upon the right aspects of that question. And we are almost at the conclusion. I will have a 1 minute rapid fire followed by 1 more minute. We need all the audience to pay attention. And are you ready?
Yeah.
So the rapid fire, you just need to pick one word answer only. One word answer. Office space.
Speculative.
Land.
Sorry?
Land.
DNA. Telugu DNA.
Flat. Flat. Apartment.
Peace of mind.
Oriya.
Sorry?
Orissa.
Good state.
Telangana.
Lovely place to be in.
Hyderabad.
Best city.
State of Telangana government.
The most proactive government ever I have seen.
Hyderabad.
Dynamic city.
Say it again. Hyderabad.
Dynamic city. Dynamic.
Okay, good. I think we'll wrap it up there. One last question for you is family.
Sorry?
Family.
Family? Okay. So,
One word. What is family for you?
you want to know about my family, right?
What do you say about rapid fire family?
Rapid fire. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. A sense of belonging.
Okay. So now our associate would be posting a link for you guys to take a survey on the session, how the session has been, how we can improve this TNT. Vamsi and team, are you guys posting a link? I was told you guys post a link for people to quickly answer this for a minute. So go to the link that you see. Also, can you cut and paste this link in the chat? Yeah, it is. It is there in the chat. I would request each of you to click the link and then finish the survey in next 30 seconds. This is important for us to give a better experience for the next Thursday's TNT session. I'll give intentional 30-second pause for you to fill this. Please do fill this form.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Bhatt. Wonderful session, very useful. We'll post the recorded session also in our WhatsApp group for the CMs and the AMs. Thank you. Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
And TNT for till next time.
Thank
And
you, everyone.
we'll see you in the next TNT session. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Sandip, this was a great session, Sandip. Thank you so much. This is
Thank
Banu
you.
here.
Thank you, Banu. Thank
In
you.
fact, surprisingly, the whole couple of my friends also were listening here, watching the real estate news from here. And the good insights that you've given to us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bert.
Great luck. Good job.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Excellent,
we'll be
Sandeep.
eagerly waiting for your next session, sir. Sandeep, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Happy
sir.
Shivratri to everyone.
Now
Happy
we will-
Shivratri to everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sandip, sir. Thank you, Bhatt, sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the Thursday night talks. With this, we are closing the session, and we shall come back soon with the recording of this session. Thank you so much, and I'm officially closing the call now. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for giving me an opportunity. Bye.